New year, new blah, blah, blah. How many times have you heard yourself say, new year, new me, or you just even thought the idea, new year, new me? Has it worked for you? Probably not. It's time to wake up. If you've been saying this for years and been going around the same circle every single year, you've got to start to look and think, where has it actually got you? It's probably not been working. It isn't a wise start to the year. But if you really do need to do something and you really do need to take action on your health and wellness, then we've probably got the very best solution for you right here. So, Alphas, welcome back to the show, brand new episode. So this, I know, will be going out somewhere between Christmas and the New Year. So for me and my whole team at Nail Body Design and here at the podcast, I want to wish you a belated, very Merry Christmas. How did it go? I hope you haven't overindulged too much. I hope you've been sensible. I hope maybe you've used a few of the survival guides that we've delivered out and given out for free to as many people as we possibly could do. And of course, the bits and pieces I've spoken about on the podcast. I just hope you've been smart, sensible, knowing full well that you can go through a Christmas period and you can see family and you can enjoy it. But you can also, you've got to realize there's going to be a tomorrow. You're going to have to pay the piper at some point. So this should be basically the Wednesday, I think it's the 28th this comes out. So you should be at that midpoint between Christmas and New Year. Maybe that's basically, the festive season sort of mainly over for you. Maybe you've got a big New Year planned. Who knows? Either way, I really genuinely hope you had a lovely time with family and friends and it's been a very joyous occasion for you. Now, what we've got is, of course, something coming up that for some reason we all like the idea of looking into the next year and thinking to ourselves, but everyone thinks something different, but it could be along the lines of, I'm so happy to put this year behind me and next year is going to be my year. Or this year has been amazing and I'm going to try and do even better next year. We definitely see, and there's nothing wrong with this, a cut-off at year by year. I think it's ingrained to us. We see a cut-off day by day, a cut-off week by week, month by month, year by year. We're sort of in that calendar cycle and there's nothing wrong with that. However, the first Monday of the year is just another Monday. If you've been waiting for that Monday to take care of yourself, start a fitness regime, level up what you've been doing, fix your health, wellness, get in the shape of your, whatever the thing is. One, if you've been waiting till the first Monday of the year, what the bloody hell have you been doing? What have you been waiting for? Tell me. No, don't tell me. Tell yourself. Ask yourself a genuine question. Why have you been waiting? It's a rhetorical question. I don't know the answer, but you might. So today we're going to go through this idea of, I suppose, really what goes through people's minds. And I suppose from our point of view, and you will know this as well, because you will have done this, you will have seen this in people around you. People keep doing the same stuff year in and year out. So we're going to sort of delve into that a little bit. Why people keep doing the same things and expecting a different result. Why this might not be working for you, and then something to try instead. Okay, so usual setup. So let's begin with the idea that people tend to sort of do the same thing or attempt the same thing each year. So quite often, the first Monday of the year, we've overindulged, probably put on a few pounds, lost some good habits, feel pretty sluggish mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, like goodness knows, like it's difficult to come out of what can be a very festive season and the run up to Christmas and then boom, it's all over and wallop in the face comes January and February, two very depressing months of the year. So people tend to go all in. They go from one extreme to the other. So, they either start intermittent fasting or restricting carbs or fats or go knee deep in salads and, maybe start jogging or get the workout DVDs out, or maybe they start going to the gym, but really, do they actually have a plan? Maybe they've got the plan that they used last year, the one that was really going to work last year, but seemed to not work. But they're going to pick up that plan again because, this year it's got to work. And people tend to really want to go it alone for some reason. I know what I need to do. I just need to do it. I'm going to come back to that phrase again later. But people tend to, start the new year, head down, 2023. This is my year. It has to work this time, doesn't it? It's got to work. It must work. But you've probably gained more weight over this last year than maybe you wanted to. Maybe you haven't. Of course, maybe you haven't. I don't know your personal circumstances. But for the majority, if somebody started a new year kick, and let's be honest, it doesn't really last, does it? And again, we'll cover that in more detail. There's a chance that over the course of this year, you haven't moved forward. Maybe at best, you've maintained where you are. But maintenance is, in my eyes, going backwards to a degree because you will only maintain for so long. And then there will be a decline in areas. You won't see them to start with, but they'll be happening. But this time it's going to be different, right? This time it's going to be different for you. Okay? What you seem to be missing, though, is if you just keep trying the same thing each year, you're going to get the same result. If you try the same thing, you're going to get the same result. And what was that result like this year for you? I don't know. Did it work? Maybe it did. Maybe it did. Thumbs up to you. Well done. Maybe it didn't. It won't have done for the majority. You cannot keep doing the same things over and over again and expect a different result. Our friend Mr. Einstein told us that is literally the definition of insanity. If nothing changes, nothing changes. So I had a consultation with a guy this week. Chap who came on board, really nice guy. And he was telling me that at the beginning of 2022, right now, so right now in 2021, he sat there at the beginning of 2022 and he wrote out all his goals, exactly what he wanted to do, like wrote them down, was very diligent, had a very, he thought, respectfully, a very clear plan. How he was going to get back in shape, how he was going to do it. He believed he had the plan. He believed he had the system. This time he'd got it sorted. And guess what? He told me by mid-Feb, he was actually in the worst shape of his life. The whole thing had completely fallen apart. In fact, he turned around and said to me, he goes, really, when I look back at what I was trying to do, it was a non-starter. It was non-starter. He was kidding himself, essentially. He now knows that he's wasted that whole, the whole of 2022, he's wasted. Okay? He's gone backwards. He's in the worst shape of his life and ultimately knows that the way he set up the beginning of his year failed him. Just in the same way that if we set up the beginning of a day badly, we can ruin the day. Think about that. It's no different, just a much different time scale. But if we start a day by getting up and getting straight on our phone and getting triggered by a load of shit on social media and not getting some water in and not getting some sunlight, some fresh air and water, all the things that we need to do to win the first hour, if we don't do that, chances are we lose the day. Same with a year. If we don't start, a year is a different time scale. I appreciate that. But theoretically, if you have the idea that you're going to start a year in a certain way and it all falls apart, the chances are that's you for the year, especially if you're still trying to do it on your own. So for this particular chap, he's wasted the whole year and was worried that he was going to do exactly the same thing again. But now he's found us. There's no way we will let him go through that cycle again. Not a chance. What we will put in front of him will be a solution, will be a plan, and it won't look probably anything like what he put together for himself. Because, and respectfully to everybody who's listening to this, if you created your own plans, and maybe you are fully able to create your own plans, people are, right? But what you think might be a good plan for you and what technically is a good plan for you can often be very different. And very often I will see the plans that people have created for themselves when maybe, as they're joining as a client, and I will say respectfully to all of them, goodness, this is an interesting plan, but it's not aligned with your goal. And when I point out where the misalignments are, it's like a aha moment for the client when they come on board. They're like, I just hadn't seen it that way. I hadn't looked at it that way. Well, no, that's understandable. Like, this is all I've done for the past 19 years. I've, completely immersed myself in this world. If I needed advice in a completely different sector, a completely different profession, I wouldn't expect that I would know those things. I would go and find a professional and get them to help me. So this is the same. So this is really what we've got to understand here, is that what you're doing at the beginning and end of the year is actually really important. Why is this not working for you? So ask yourself, like, has this approach worked for you in the past? Be honest. If you're a new year, new me type person, and there's nothing wrong with that, I don't believe it's the best way to go about things. It's a little bit all or nothing. And here's another little offshoot. If you think you're an all or nothing person and you think that's good, I'll challenge that. I will challenge you on that. Being all or nothing is bad. Bad, bad, bad. In my opinion. Why? Because for the most part, people will then be nothing. Oh, I'm either all or nothing. And I can't be all because the timing's not right. It's my birthday. Here comes, fucking all the bullshit comes out. So they're nothing. It shouldn't be two extremes. It should be a continuum. It should be, I will be as close to all as I can be. Not, if I can't be 100%, I'll be nothing. Again, I see people say, oh, I can't join at the moment because I can't give it 100%. Like, we don't want your 100% because it doesn't exist. Like, even in a prep, I still don't know if I've given everything 100%. I still look back and think I could have done better. There were things I could have done better. And that could have been doing less for me, holding back slightly. So waiting for 100% and being all or nothing, just as an offshoot rant, very dangerous. So has this worked? Has a new year, new me worked for you in the past? Probably not, right? If you're really, really honest. And that's not your fault, because that puts you in the 85% of people. The worldwide stat is that 85% of dieters, anyone looking to lose fat or lose weight, which is all of us at some point, 85% of those people, whether they do or don't reach their goal, will end up back where they started or worse inside, I think it's just under 2 years. That's the worldwide stat of dieting. It's shocking, but now sit back and think, sounds about right, doesn't it? Because people go off and do a bunch of shit that is completely unsustainable, like cutting out a whole food group. I don't eat carbs anymore, or I only eat one meal a day, and there's nothing particularly wrong with that. I just don't know if it's particularly sustainable. But people do stuff that they cannot sustain. They cannot keep it up. It is not a lifestyle change. It is a flash in the pan. And then, of course, what generally happens is people, they go back to their old habits, right? Because when the thing that they're doing that is a new year, new me mentality, all or nothing mentality, when that thing becomes unsustainable and they can't hack it 4 weeks in, guess what? Boom, they go right back to their old habits and wallop, back comes any fat that they've lost. If they were lucky enough to drop any, back it all comes. Now, the negative mindset that would then give an individual is then going to throw them off for a long time. Because what is it? It's going to be failure, isn't it? Disgusted with oneself. I've failed again. I'm useless. I just can't get my head around this. Maybe this getting in shape and health and fitness thing isn't for me. That's fucking bad. Maybe health and fitness isn't for me. I've heard people say that. Like, what? You're a human being. Your health and fitness should be at the forefront of everything that you fucking well do. Like, literally at the forefront of everything that you do. When someone says to me, again, I'm interested in joining the plan, but right now I'm really focusing on my business. I'm like, yes, so am I. I spend a huge amount of time focusing on my business, but does that mean I can't take the necessary steps to optimize my health, wellness, and mental cognition and longevity? And no, because no matter how successful we might become, what we earn, all that rubbish, when your health is taken away from you, you will sell everything, pay whatever you need to get your health back. So why not just take care of it in the first instance? Looking after your health and wellness is not a cost. It's an investment, for sure. Possibly the best one you can ever make. It's the one that will repay you the most. And the amount of people that, I hear say, I'm going to go it alone. I can do this alone. I know what I need to do. I just need to do it. I said that earlier. I know what I need to do. I just need to do it. People say that to me as if they're the only person that's ever said it to me. But the reality is I probably hear that a couple of times a day. Given that I have maybe 7 or 8 consultations every single day, I probably hear that a couple of times a day. And I'm respectful every time I hear it. Of course I am. Because I'm sure that individual does think they know what to do and they just need to do it. So why haven't they done it? So why are they sitting on the phone with me saying that? Knowing, and whether they do or don't know is a different thing, but knowing and implementation are worlds apart. Way too many people to say that to me. It's the implementation that matters. Like a 1 week on a diet won't cut it. It probably took someone months, years to get into the shape where they feel that they need to do something about it. What makes someone think that a new year, new me, 1 to 4 week sort of unsustainable plan, and that be it, is going to get them there? Like, you've got to wake up. You're kidding yourself. So what you've been doing possibly hasn't been working. And if you're sitting here now thinking, well, I need to do something. I went into December feeling a little bit podgy. I've come out the other side feeling fucking awful. So something needs to happen. And, if you've got it in your head that now is a good time to do it, fair play, cool beans. So how about this for a different approach? So we've been working really hard in the background and put together something that we have ran before, and it's incredibly successful, which is our 14-day fat loss challenge. We've been running these on our social medias for years now, and they are very, very popular and very, very successful. So we've got a better plan. And it's basically the idea of using the fat loss challenge as a knowingly unsustainable kickstart. Now, listen to what I've just said there. Knowingly unsustainable. In other words, we do something that is a genuine kickstart, but we know full well that that's not the actual long-term solution. But what people generally do need is a little kickstart, is a little bit of quick progress, so that they then start to, kind of get some of the low-hanging fruit, see some progress forward, and start to then settle into the idea that this is working for me. Our fat loss challenge, basically the average over 2 weeks is that someone loses between 9 and 19 pounds. 19 pounds in 2 weeks. 2 people have done that, in actual fact. And many, many people are up in that sort of region. But then the idea is, 1, somebody goes through the fat loss challenge, which is proven to work, but then move into a far more sustainable one-to-one coaching solution. So there has to be a plan after a kickstart, something that gets somebody going, because we know full well if somebody tried to replicate our fat loss challenge over and over and over, it wouldn't work. It's not designed that way. It's designed to work extremely well for 14 days, but there has to be something the other side of it. Otherwise, it's just another unsustainable solution, which we would never put in front of you. So yeah, the 14-day fat loss challenge has been one of the most successful things we've ever done. It's insanely fast results, but we need to follow it by a longer term solution to make those results stick. Our challenge used to just be ran through social media, but we've now encased it in an insanely cool app, a standalone app, making it super easy to follow, super convenient. So inside that app are things like, of course, completely laid out training. So there are 2 styles of training in our challenge. Not going to go into the depths of what those are. You will be able to find out. But there are 2 styles of training in the app. There is full nutrition planning in the app, daily motivation videos from me, a support community, supplementational advice, mindset mastery techniques. It's all in this app. We've built it out, and guess what? It's ready and waiting to go for you. The idea being is that you take yourself through the app, or apply, and it's free, by the way. Shall I just point out? We know that at this time of year, demand for doing something like this is high, but of course, funds have taken a knock because of Christmas. Budget is more difficult. So to be able to help people get through that first period, again, we run our challenge and we run it for free. Why? Because, well, I can tell you, the reason I started doing this was to help people. And genuinely, that's what I love to do. That's what gets me up in the morning, knowing that today I'm going to speak to someone whose life I might change. I can't tell you how much joy that gives me. And to know that I run a business that does that for goodness knows how many thousands of people. It's why I do this. So I'm happy to be able to put in front of you a solution to the new year, new me broken model of the past. And that is to join our free challenge. Send yourself through the 14 days with us guiding you, making sure that you're getting the most out of it. And then at the end of that 14 days, you will have 3 options, 3 opportunities to continue working with us. And you simply choose the one that fits you, your circumstances, and your goals best. But we certainly encourage that. Why? Because there has to be a solution after a kickstart. And everything's inside the app. Again, just to cover that, it's super convenient. It's a very easy sign up. I will put a link to the page giving you more information and real results and testimonials from people that have gone through this. It will be in the show notes. If this sounds like a solution and it sounds compelling, please go click on the link in the show notes. Go and have a look at the page. Click any of the little rocking orange buttons and you'll be taken to be able to apply to come into the challenge. There are limited spaces and you can only put so many people in the app. The app only caters for so many people. So it will be first come, first served. It's as simple as that. And then we will have to have a second phase going through that in a few weeks later into January. So if you want to get started and get going, right now is the time to apply. And I do mean right now. A lot of people listen to this podcast, and I thank every single one of you for listening. But of course, we will be, everybody on this podcast will hear this, and of course, it will go across all of our social medias. It's going to be put in front of a lot of people because that is our desire, is to help a lot of people. So if this is compelling and you like the sound of what you've heard so far and the idea that this is a different solution to what's not been working in the past, then go to the show notes, click on the link that you'll find in there. Go and have a look at the page and just find out more about what this does, like the results that we've got. You should be able to see hopefully a few of the sort of screenshots of the app so you can get a bit of an idea as to what that looks like. But it is step by step, literally step by step. Every exercise in there we've recorded ourselves doing, so you can watch us doing it, so you can simply copy what we're doing. Your nutrition plan is completely itemized and laid out for you, so you literally just follow the foods on the plan. We teach you how to track that food. We talk to you about how to optimize your sleep, rest, recovery. It's all in there and it is waiting for you right now. That is going to be everything I want to cover today. I genuinely hope that I've put a solution in front of you that, you feel might be a far better option in terms of starting 2023 with your best foot forward and in a way that is not what you've done in the past, but a clearer solution of a sharp 14-day challenge, which is all very exciting as well. Like everyone we've had go through them, and we're talking thousands of people have gone through this. The lessons that you will learn from going through it, you will be able to use. There will be elements of it that you'll be able to fall back on in many, many years because we'll have taught you things that you'll have not tried before. But then we'll also have this solution on the back end where you can be like, okay, now I need to take a more methodical step forward and to make sure that the results that I've achieved in the 14 days stick and I continue to move forwards, not then just fall off a cliff and become part of the 85%. We will turn you into the 15%. Okay, alphas, thank you for your time. Again, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. And I hope whatever you're doing this week, whether you're back to work or whether you're having time off with family, whatever that is, I hope it's joyous. I hope it's fun. I hope you're around the people that you want to be around. And again, let's start this year as the best way we possibly can. If we're going to do it, if you want to do that, if you want that to be a way to start the year, then let's do it in the best way possible. Let's push all the old ways of doing things to one side. Let's start in a different manner, a more sustainable long-term solution manner, which is what the whole of this plan is that we're putting in front of you. So go to the show notes, have a little click on that. Again, as always, I thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed the content in the show, please give me or give the show a 5-star review. We appreciate that. And of course, if there are other people out there who you think might benefit from a solution like the 14-day fat loss challenge, please share this podcast with them. We don't advertise this podcast. We don't want ads to it. We do nothing like that. It only grows because you, the awesome listener, is willing to give us reviews and share it with other people like-minded who might want this sort of help. So please, by all means, get the link, share it out across your socials. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, because again, if we've got the opportunity to help more people, that's what floats my boat and keeps me doing this, and generally keeps a bit of a smile on my face. Awesome. Alphas, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas week. Have the most amazing new year. With whatever you're doing, whether you're celebrating or probably like me, going to bed at 10 o'clock early and just having a normal New Year's Day, and I don't know, maybe just going training and doing usual stuff. Whatever you're doing, spend it well, spend it with the people that you love, and I will catch you in the new year. Alphas, over and out.